Hi guys, Dr. Bortolotti here. Now we're going to start the next phase of this project, which you've been working on, whether you realize that you're working on a project or not. This ties together with the proposal letter for money that you wrote last week, the request for money letter that you wrote last week. And in that letter, you were joining the simulation, the scenario that I gave you guys. Once again, obviously, this is all just pretend and made up. It's a simulation to give you some experience in how to ask for money and then how to show your boss what you plan to do with the money. So last week you asked for the money. This week you're going to show your boss what you're going to do with the money. So in this proposal that you do now, you are going to tell your parent company, in the case of Westbrook Diesel, you're going to tell your parent company what you want to do with the money. And in the case of Mercy Hospital, you'll tell your main hospital, overarching company hospital, what you want to do with the money. Okay, this is the example I'm going to give you. But even though the contents here are different than what you'd be writing, the format is still the same. This is actually a sample proposal that a place here in town was doing when they were considering expanding a portion of their building, which needs to be updated. And on this first page is their logo, the company's logo. It's a local theater. And the name of this project, the name of this proposal, they plan to expand their building. This is the address, and you'll see in the examples I gave you, I've already set this up for you, so there's no need to change any of this. Okay. Also on this first page in the lower left-hand corner is your contact information. Okay, your name, your position of this place, the name of the place, the company, your email information, and the phone. So if you take a look at one of the examples here, you would just be putting your information down here. Just make up what your position is, make up the email, make up the phone number. And I'll come back to this page in a minute. Okay, so what's going on here with this proposal? What you're doing is you're giving now specifics. In that request for funds money, you just gave a general idea of what you wanted to do. Now that your money has been quote unquote approved, now it's time to tell your parent company specifically what you want to do with the money. In this proposal example that I'm showing you, it involves construction. Now for those people who are in the hospital program or the medical program, you don't have to worry about, construction costs and things like that, depending on what you asked before in your letter, okay, your request for money. So don't think that you're required to do a construction proposal. Right? That's just this example. And some of the guys in the class who are using this, they did ask for money to do a construction project. Okay, but in this example, it's dealing with construction costs and stuff like that. Okay, just keep this in mind. This is just an example, but the pages of this example are the ones you will have too. This is a table of contents, and I'll come back to this in a second. Coming down here on this first page, then you'll give remind your parent company the history of your place or the background of your place. Once again, since this is just a simulation, just make up, and you probably have enough knowledge to do this, make up information about this company or make up information about this hospital. Just some general background information. Just use your imagination. Talk about how long it's been around, what awards the place has won, national awards or local awards or whatever the case may be, customer satisfaction, Better Business Bureau rankings, whatever. Okay, just real general. This is only about 100 words, so that's plenty. Once again, notice I'm using Tahoma as a font, Tahoma 12 as my font, and I'm not indenting anything, and I'm really aware of the white space on the page. We've been working on this with our business letters and our emails, and now in a formal proposal, you do the same thing. This header here is capitalized. All the letters are capitalized. Once again, you can play with this. You can design this the way you want to. You want to just use my template the way it is, that's fine. You want to play around with fonts and font sizes, that's up to you too. No, nothing crazy though, please. Okay, so on this page here, it's basically the business summary. Okay, now on the next page, the overview of the project that you have in mind. This probably is going to be an expanded version of what you wrote in your request for funds letter. Basically saying in my example here that they want to add on to the lobby area and expand the restrooms area because it's the original configuration since 1957. So they asked for this money, $200,000, that was granted by the Illinois Arts Council to expand the theater lobby and update the restrooms, expand the restrooms. This is the overview of the big project. Now what happens next is going to be up to you to find as little or as much detail as you want about what is going to go into the scope of the work. To build a new wing of that theater building, they need to have a new foundation. Of course, there's plumbing and electrical, there's framing, interior and exterior walls, the roof, HVAC, the interior finishes like floors and paint, and then of course the necessary equipment that they need in the lobby and in the offices. Now this is going to be up to you what you want to include as part of your project. If you're planning on adding to an existing garage, for example, that's fine. If you're simply planning on opening up a daycare center in an empty room in the hospital, that's fine. It just depends on what you proposed in your request for funds. Over here is just a listing of things that that your project has to consider for it to move forward. Example, right here, they want to do new foundation for this wing, but they want to make sure that the building addition is tied seamlessly to the building that exists right now. Obviously, they have to tap into the existing sewer lines. They have to do all new wiring, electrical, but they have to double check to make sure that they don't overstep their capacity. It is a theater after all. There's a lot of electricity in this place. And just basically the anticipation of things that you think are going to be your challenges, or in these two cases down here, simply objectives and not challenges. Then give me a simulated timeline. I'm looking at the middle of July 2024 for this project to finally be done. Breaking ground in March, ending 4 months later in July. And here is the payment to the contractors, which obviously mirrors the same dates. Once again, you know, I want you to just be creative and enjoy this. Make this stuff up. It's okay. Obviously, you're not tied to this. And I know nothing about construction. I know nothing about diesel. I know nothing about hospitals. But you can certainly play the game here and just make stuff up. And you're not going to be turning this into anybody for an actual proposal. This is just getting some experience for you guys. This is just an experience assignment. That's all it is. There's really no wrong way to do this, right? Coming down here is how is the money that you just got from your parent company, how is it going to be distributed among your different contractors? And all I did was I just went into a browser window, a search engine, and I just looked up what different places in town here in Peoria could do foundation work and could do framing, electrical, plumbing, HVAC, and all that stuff, and where I could go to get furniture and office equipment, and approximately what the cost would be. You could actually do a search, a Google search, and find out what the basic costs would be for your project for this type of construction. It's not, I did that. It's not hard to do. I didn't mention here like square footage because I don't know. But certainly that would affect like this for sure, and this for sure. So I didn't even bother with square footage. But in a proposal for construction, you obviously would have to have that. This is my bottom figure, which is less than the money that was granted me. All right, it's coming down here. This is the agreement between you then and the parent company, and this is where it's got to be witnessed by a notary. Now, from this point on here, from this point down, just use this, okay? I completely made this up. I copied and pasted this notary seal from an image search in Google. Okay, God, don't ever do this for a real notary. Okay, just I made all this stuff up, but come up with a contract here that both parties have to sign, because you're dealing with a lot of money here, and your parent company wants to make sure that you are spending that money the way it is being spent. And in this agreement, it simply tells your parent company what you're planning on doing, and the timelines and the costs above are to the best of your knowledge. If there's any overage that you will pay, your company will pay for if you go over budget. If you're under budget, the extra money will be returned to the parent company. Just basic lawyer language here. You can basically take this and use it as your own. Just tweak it a little bit. And once again, you have to have the thing signed. So here's the company that's doing the work. And here's the parent company over here. Actually, this this should say State of Illinois. Sorry about that. State of Illinois. That's what it should say. Okay. Once again, I just want you to be creative and have fun with this. Just imagine if you had $200,000. What would you do with it? Right? What would you do with it? And just play with it like that. And what I've done here is I've given you the template to base yours on. So just take this and open it and save it as your own. Blunier diesel proposal, right? Reese diesel proposal, or Salzman diesel, hospital proposal. So this is the one for the people in the diesel. Once again, all this text here is from my theater example. You can obviously base your information on this. Okay, just basically use my tables here, use my contract here as your own. Just have some fun with this. That's all this is. As far as the table of contents is concerned, do this last, because you never know what your page numbers are going to be. Okay, but right now I think this is right. Okay, and you want to keep all this information here as yours, that's fine too. The hospital one looks exactly the same. Okay, so let me know if you have any questions. I'll be talking to you guys about this in both our Zoom sessions this week. This first Sunday and then a week from Sunday, we'll be talking about this. You have 2 weeks to do this. You have plenty of time to do this. This is due on October 31st. So for the next 2 Zoom meetings, we can talk about this. All right, let me know what you need.